It's the union, right, Tucker? Right? Biden's administration been listening to stupid assholes in charge. Oh yeah, obviously he's a white supremacist. He'll lose the Supreme Court case. He'll lose all those things. This white rage this asshole has. He's out there purging on a Friday night again. And for what it is, and you get there, and none of the evidence backs that. I mean, Biden and their team's holding the fucking buck on this one. It's like, now what do? You got to backtrack because you listen to stupid fucking unions. You gave them stupid fucking amounts of power that they never deserved to begin with. You could tell because the people you listened to said Rittenhouse would have been guilty. He was a white supremacist, and he was freed from all of those charges, hopefully using your system. Like, if I go in there, am I going to hear any Democrats say, oh, well, the judge was Republican, and that is why they won? That's about the only thing you can say. That's the only kind of shit you can say, because you picked shitty people, and then you, instead of doing your own research, you let them do the research, and you let the result that does this in the negative turn off, unless you can give me, hey, I set up the purge so Rittenhouse could get out there, and then I made sure that it was the benevolent way so you people would be learned in some fucking way that this was the actual right way to do a thing. And meanwhile, a 17-year-old that wasn't a police officer had to X somebody. So go on. Tell me about your shitty fucking union bosses.
TV fans. And with Philo, it's not just the DVR that's unlimited. So are the laughs. The thrills. The drama.
Just holding a kryptonite dildo in your ass, ain't you? Waiting for Superman to come around.
The ahs. And the Krabby Patties.
Well, that way you can just tell them you're fucked already. You don't have to worry.
Is the place where everyone can watch.
I'm ready.
Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson. Tonight, a significant day in the recent
Sorry about the
history
freedom of speech thing.
We're
Bust
gonna
to play,
have an hour
Tucker.
of detail
Look like you've been.
before we jump into them,
Looks
a
like you
little
haven't
bit of
slept very much
context.
lately, buddy.
Here's how the story started, just so we all remember. 17-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse wound up on the street in Kenosha in the first place with a gun for one reason.
Pause. It was the purge that night. By fucking definition of picture A and picture B. And whether this person wanted to or not, he had all the legal rights. He had every legal system to be out there and have all of those things. None of those things were illegal. You go out there and you use those things for specifically the protection on. He didn't go out there hunting. He went out there to go purge. And when you get out there, you forget that that's what that is, and you can see it in the trial. That is what this was. 42-edness come around in there, fear, anxiety, something. Well, let's do something out here that actually pose why I should be out here on the streets not loitering, right? Because 42-edness, you're going to be like, you got to do something. Got to do something. And in that way, there's the evidence. You're out there cleaning graffiti. If it had anything, if it had happened before, if it had happened way after. But here, hopefully in the incident, it was during the incident. He was cleaning graffiti. He wasn't cleaning graffiti 6 hours later. I don't really know all the points of the trial. And then still running around, right, Tucker? Because then you were starting to get into the hickey bits of the freedom of speech and whether something is accurate or is, starts with an S. Well, at any rate, inside of there, speculative, that's what that is. You're prospecting here, district attorney. Really what happened when we asked Rittenhouse where he was or whatever it was would be what the result would have been. And any cameras that back that, I'd rather listen to the cameras. You were here. Explain why you were here. Your story didn't match up. Your timelines didn't match out. Some of that's acceptable. It's like how it was, so. But it doesn't matter.
There because in the summer of 2020,
because he didn't
the leadership
purge.
of the Democratic Party endorsed mob
He wasn't
violence
out there purging
for
like everybody
political
else.
That's why there were riots in Kenosha that night.
He wasn't out
Kamala
there
Harris supported those riots.
As a pedophile burning down the
later, as
street.
Rittenhouse stood
You
trial
had a
for
crime
murder,
or something
those
like that. What's the
very same
chances
people
of
implied
the
there
cops
would be
rolling up on
more
you with a
violence
warrant for
if he
whatever
was
it is?
acquitted.
And
So imagine
you
being an
think
observer
about
on
that.
case
Think about it. You have a young man that hadn't done anything as far as we know. I'm sure the backup on that trial had some kind of go through his computers, go through his shit.
So much courage that at times
You'll find nothing if you find nothing other than a few dancing girls and whatever.
But as we learned today,
but everything else should be legal.
Possible, thank God. This afternoon, the jury acquitted Kyle Rittenhouse.
Well, that's why we have the court system like that. That's why we have, what is it called, slander? That is why we have invasion of privacy. You know, there's a special case where we need to do it, and these people are masked out by cases. And you have to maintain that individuality and impartialness in these events. Thank you. Somebody for the words. In here for why, you know, when I'm doing master masonry on this guy, you know, honestly, what do you like, redheads, blondes, what gets you wet? What's going to actually, in the bar, move you in some way? And you'll get there and you'll find that it's other things. But I got to have some kind of gravity to work with here.
As to the fifth count of the information, Gage Grosskreutz, we the jury find the defendant, Kyle H. Rittenhouse, not guilty.
Remarkable.
Just a kid.
Months of relentless lying from the media about this case, in the end, had no effect whatsoever on the jury. Propaganda doesn't always win. Today it was soundly defeated. Thank God.
That brings up another topic. Propaganda, you brought it up the other day, Tucker. It was about propaganda is a lie, and they're the same thing. They're not. I actually kind of tweaked your definition a little bit. A lie is a lie, but a lie is not propaganda. When we say this whole thing in freedom of speech, Tucker, let me assume that the Democrats did plan. Now that this happy accident come out, we're going to talk about gun rights. We're going to talk about self-defense. This is propaganda. This whole thing, the whole event happening, the whole insanity of having to talk about this like it's something bigger than a self-defense trial and freedom of speech and what's right or wrong, because it does put your ass in there to why the fuck you ain't running today. Why the fuck your name, when it comes up tomorrow, isn't going to run because you have party favorites inside your head that you would win, even if you don't know who they are yet. And that is biased as shit, and it's propaganda, and it makes a fucking problem.
Our documentary team was there in Kenosha when it happened. They've been there for days putting together an installment of our Tucker Carlson original series on this case. And they captured Kyle Rittenhouse's first moments outside the court today after being acquitted.
There was no safe place in Dalport, remember.
It keeps you up at night. Like, once you finally do get to sleep, your dreams are about what happened, and you're waking up in a
because now these two things are synonymous with political decisions. The political decision was already done. And so, Tucker, you become an enemy of your own fucking argument.
Actually, because the dreams feel so real.
Physics. Field theory.
Not the same.
I'm not telling you, you got to use the special relativity field theory. And it's a macro-micro nightmare. But that's the beauty on it, because you're going to be like, well, how do I know which one's bigger than this one? You start with the biggest, Andromeda's paradox. If you can't, even if it's the limits of the biggest you can get. It's like, I obviously can't walk in the White House. But I have a mayor, I have a state trooper, I have a judge in town that are sensible enough to get at to do that for me. Well, for you, it's like anytime president doesn't come on, it's like, why do I need them to do it anywhere else, really, Tucker? When you think about it, you would think I'm your enemy. And I give you the best. I would say, look, there's no reason for really the Senate to have any conversations. Biden will talk through Tucker to Ron Paul. Ron Paul, I'm doing something on here because I can't trust it anymore. And the world needs to be in the same line of the media and the messages, and there can't be 3 or 4 conversations. It all has to happen through the same hub. Anything else would be propaganda. It is a artificial inflation airbag we use to inflate that truck back on the road, turn it back over.